Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, as you come into the chat, be sure to drop your crowns, your locations. Welcome our guest. Up and Adam is finally here on the channel for a live recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Welcome, Adam. What's going on? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. There we go. Sorry.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have to say one thing. A couple things. One, thank you so much for having me. This is the first time I've ever had the opportunity to come on your channel, so thank you. And two, I always wait until the end of our videos together to ask you for your monologue, so this was a real treat getting it.
Wow, you're coming to my platform to shade me and throw me under the bus.
You invited me.
That's true. Adam, first of all, let's just first start off by saying Adam has been on the platform technically before, just pre-recorded, and you've also been on the podcast.
Yes.
Technically.
Yes, Kempire likes to make me cry, so yes, guys, go check it out.
hopefully that won't happen this episode. I just want to say shout out to everyone that's already in the chat, guys. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't liked it already. Apparently, Dorit has already disliked the video. That's one of the things that we like to guess. Once we get a dislike, we like to guess who might have disliked it. So we're thinking Dorit. Good, Dorit. Okay. Get ready because I have something for you. Guys, everyone in the chat, be sure to, again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I've posted Up and Adam's information in the description of this video, including his socials. Be sure to follow him on everything there. And I also posted his recent exclusive interview with Ronald Richards. Well, you've had 2 exclusive interviews recently with Ronald Richards. Before we get into the recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, can we just talk a little bit about what's been in the news? Specifically, the first exclusive that you recently had with Ronald Richards in regards to Erika Jayne and Tom Girardi's legal mess.
Yeah, no, it's been 2 exclusive interviews within the time span of a week. So I'm super grateful to Ronald Richards, only because I know that he's extremely busy, right? Erika, in this whole situation, it's not the only case that he has to focus on. But my thing is with everything that's going on with him, I get both, and you always tell me don't read the comments too much, but I get backlash and then I get appreciation posts, and people have to understand and realize, one, if I'm not talking to him, someone else is going to. And 2, my whole purpose here is not to do an Erika smear campaign. My whole purpose is to continue to talk about this scandal as more information and the headlines are coming out, because the main priority here would be the victims. I don't care if Erika is sipping out of Baccarat champagne glasses. That's not the priority. The priority is getting the victims their money back, like the Rui Gomez family, who this man suffered like 90% of his body from burns, and he has medical bills. That is the priority. So I just want to clear that up really quick.
And I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I think so often we talk about this stuff and it's specifically, which in this particular episode, her no apology string, it's just like, come on, just this poor taste. People can misconstrue what you mean by that. What was your first reaction to that? And we will get into the episode, but what was your reaction to that? I was just like, eh.
No, I mean, even if we're talking about this and not on the episode yet, you're still super on brand with all of it, right? But it makes me wonder, one, did you guys set up this drink, the drink names, the drink of choice on purpose to kind of set up that moment? I do wonder that. But then 2, I think all of us, we were Garcelle in that moment when she's like, really? That's the drink that you choose? Garcelle and Sutton, for me, obviously Kathy Hilton, those are the MVPs of this season. And I think exactly what came out of her mouth was going through my head. And I'm sure a lot of the viewers, a lot of your community and the subscribers here for Kempire, weren't you thinking the same thing, or am I just like guessing?
It's the first thing that stood out to me. I was just like, and I was just disgusted. Like, I really try to keep an open mind. Look, I always say I twerk on a fence here, but it's so hard with Erika. It's just so hard to even have an inkling of empathy for her, because she's not helping her case on the show.
No, I mean, it's not just that. It's the no apologies thing. It's the sipping out of the Baccarat, like Emily D. Baker said on my show today. She was like, that moment was cringeworthy because these champagne glasses are $500 a piece. And we know by leaving Tom Girardi, she's still going to have lavish items, right? A $9,000 to $10,000 a month rental, a Range Rover, nice furniture. She's still going to have these items. But Kyle's like, did you sneak that out in the middle of the night? And she's like, yeah, and they can take this shit too. I don't care. But it's like, that's not cute. It's not a cute look, just like it wasn't cute. And again, this is not an Erika smear campaign, but we're regurgitating the information and the content that she's giving us. It's not cute to post a photo that says Balenciaga and have widows and orphans hanging from your ears. These are your actions. And a lot of people want you to react and give us, a sympathetic moment for the victims. Unfortunately, we're not getting that. And by the way, Kempire doesn't drink. And he said, I can bring a drink. And I brought my drink. And it's not Baccarat. It's just a $5 Dom Perignon glass. So you're welcome,
mind you, I said I was going to put something in a wine glass and I forgot.
Oh, well, you can sip on that. But this, I just want to say, did not come from any victims.
Well, that part. Well, part of the reason why I wanted you to drink is because I wanted, when we have guests here, we try to get more information out of them.
I feel
but you're pretty easy to get information out of.
Of like how guys meet women at a bar or something, where you try to get them boozed up and then get the information out of them. That's what you're doing to me.
I would never. Mind you, it didn't take. All I said, oh, bring a cocktail. You didn't say, oh no, I don't want to do. I didn't have to argue with you to get you to bring a cocktail.
Okay, I thought our text messages were private.
I didn't say specifically.
No, you didn't have to. You didn't have to pull my leg. All you had to say was bring a drink on. And Jason's like, "Is that a good idea?" And then I said, "Yeah, it's fine. Will you just pour me a glass?" And then he gives me this monster. This is all shams.
First
he
of all,
said, well, you're going to be on for like an hour or so with Kempire. He's like, that would last me 10 minutes. And I was like, you're right, Jason. I'll drink it.
Well, Jason, be sure. I know you're watching. Be sure to bring another one in. Because we have a lot to talk about. First of all, people love when we collaborate together. I apologize in advance for not having you on the channel sooner. But I had to clean up the place before I brought you on.
I accept your apology.
Just let you all see the tire marks, right? You all see the tire marks. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'm not like a small SUV, I'm like an 18-wheeler, so they keep coming.
I see everyone in the chat. We see you, but I'm trying to focus on our guests. We have a guest in the building. Again, guys, if you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. And don't forget to subscribe to Adam's channel as well and support him on his social media. And check out his recent collaboration with, I was about to say Up and Adam, with Emily D. Baker. I love when you guys come together. First of all, you talk about Housewives, but she also makes the most sense when it comes to all that legal mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, she does. And one of the fun things with her, and I've had to learn, we all adapt with doing these collaborations, right? Like, what do I need? What do you need? How much time of yours am I going to take? How much time, like a lot of times when I bring people onto my channel, I'm afraid to keep more than 30 minutes of their time, because I've had other people who I collab with who've messaged me after and they're like, that ran over 30 minutes. Like, I do not have time for that. And I'm like, whoa, I'm sorry.
Wow.
And Emily D. Baker. No, I wouldn't do that. But Emily D. Baker, I learned with her, because the conversation is so organic, it will last anywhere from an hour and 15 minutes to 2 hours, because we flip-flop. We talk about Bravo and then other lawsuits and then Jen Shaw. There's so many scandals happening right now that it's just easy. It's like, I feel like I'm talking to a friend, and she was going to go to BravoCon with me before it got canceled. So that's unfortunate.
And I was going to join you guys, but I was going to be out the country. So next year.
So now we all have to go together in 2022.
Yeah, I'm ready. I won't make plans around this time of the year again. But no, I as I said before, if you guys did not see that collaboration, Emily makes so much sense. I'll post her information in the description of this video after the live as well. Support her channel. Let's talk a little bit about, before we get into this episode, Adam, I want to talk a little bit about you've been covering the Erika Jayne story for a while now. So I would have to say you're probably one of the experts, especially here on these YouTube streets. Would you consider yourself an expert at least by now?
I don't know if I'm an expert of anything. I'm a kind of like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But, it changed the trajectory of my channel when I started in October covering this, because I used to do a lot of recaps, right? But what a lot of people forget is I worked for one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I was around these women to some capacity. I'm not saying I wasn't clinking glasses with them and cheersing them, but I saw them a lot in and out. And it just made me have this kind of connection to that franchise specifically. Like you're in New York, so you might connect with the ladies of, New York more than I would, as opposed to
Really?
Beverly Hills, where well, because you love Leah McSweeney, right? So you there goes the tire marks. But when I saw all of this happening, one, my heart broke for the victims, but then two, when the divorce came, it came so suddenly, and I knew they were filming it. I was like, I'm going to do my first kind of headline gossip video as opposed to the recaps. And when I did, you know how this works. Like when we recap and then we put out what's going on in the news, they have different kinds of views, and it changed the whole setup and formula of my channel. And I just kind of got addicted to the story because it's mind-blowing, it's disgusting, it's sad. There's a lot going on. There's so many different moving parts. And obviously I'm not the only one. You do it. Emily D. Baker does it. Hulu did it with a documentary. This is huge.
And rumor on the street that there's another documentary coming.
Yeah, that's what Kate Casey, who I did a podcast with, Reality Life with Kate Casey, she let me know because she's been in the game for 5-6 years, and she has a lot of great interviews with different execs and producers. And she said there's one right around the corner because after they did the first Hulu documentary, so much information has come out since then that why wouldn't they do a second documentary?
Yeah. A lot of information has come out since then. Speaking of information that's come out since then, Ronald Richards has been talking about, and I fell for it. I thought that Tom Girardi was moving out of the Pasadena mansion and he was moving into an assisted living facility. But I really believed it. Did you not believe it?
I did too, and I think I said this to you the other day on our recap. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to believe less and less the crap. I was about to say a bad word, but the crap that's being fed to us through Dumois and all of these different rumor mills, because until it's confirmed, we don't actually know. Now, for that, there were a lot of great points that were made. Tom Girardi was photographed in front of Belmont Village, which, I lived in LA for a while. You see them everywhere. They're nice, but like Ronald Richards said today, it doesn't really seem like a place that he would go. But he was photographed. Who and what? No. Just no. Nobody is waiting outside. Like the Daily Mail, Radar Online, they're not just kicking it outside of Belmont Village like, oh, this could be the spot that he's going to be at today. Ronald Richards makes a lot of sense when he said somebody was tipped off. That was a photo op. And I feel like that's exactly what it was. People were like, we didn't even get to see him. We didn't see him moving any bags in or anything like that. But at the end of the day, he could have just been touring the facility. We don't actually know. Was it a great photo op? Yes, it was. But is he actually moving anywhere? As per Ronald Richards, who had the place investigated today, I guess, or yesterday.
He said he might go up there himself.
I was like, what? What? Because we see him as an avatar on here, Like, I had a conversation with him before we actually went live, and I saw him in his full suit and everything. That's how he came in. You know how this works. Like when they're in the back room on StreamYard, this is obviously different, but we see the people who are in our chats, and I saw him in a suit and tie, and I was like, are you talking out of Avatar today? And he's like, well, I was thinking about it, but maybe not today. And he said, is that okay with you? And I said, dude, you're Ronald Richards. Like, yes, as long as you keep tweeting, it's okay with me. Come on, Avatar, we're good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of this photo op, I had to put this photo up just because I keep saying this. When the black eye with Tom Girardi happened, and then when this whole retirement home situation happened, I said to myself, what's going on with the fashion, Tom? I know you don't have the money anymore, but what's going on with the fashion? Or not. No. Yeah, it's pretty bad. First of all, Rebo, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Everyone, I'm trying to see all of your chats, but I'm doing a lot behind. If you guys I'm going to get a camera for behind the scenes so you guys don't just think I'm just saying things. You're going to see what's going on in front of me at some point. Everyone is looking at the trousers. Yes, the trousers.
I mean, I feel like both photo ops that we've seen him, the one with the black eye and this photo op, it's been said that, maybe it's all speculation, right? Maybe he's going out of his way to look a little bit more grandpa-y, a little less luxury, less like there's like high fashion involved with it, and kind of to gain some sympathy, right? I'm not first of all, I'm not fashionable. And second of all, I don't have sympathy for anything you're wearing because I'm always in black. So I don't know who this photo op is geared for or towards. But also, if I were in Tom Girardi's shoes or his big oversized pants, I would not be worried about my fashion anyways. I'd be worried about everything that I have to cover up in order to not go to jail.
Yeah, I don't know.
Allegedly.
I really sometimes fall for the mess. I really like, oh, he really got a black eye. Oh, poor Tom. Tom is going through things. I mean, I think part of him is going through things, but I also don't believe. Do you believe that he has dementia and Alzheimer's?
See, this is what I always say on my channel when people ask me that, because, we all get those questions a lot. I'm not a medical professional. Do I think he does? We've been told by a professional that he does, so I'm going with that. However, it kind of seems like that old saying where there's smoke, there's fire. It is a lot to add up. You're getting a divorce and then, you're being sued by all of these people. Victims after victims after victims are coming out. The amount of money that you allegedly stole or embezzled, it gets higher and higher. Then they're liquidating your assets. Then, they're selling your home. Then your house is allegedly burglarized. Then when they want to know questions, you plead the fifth and you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's and late onset dementia. Then you get a conservator, which means you technically don't have to say anything when it comes to the court, because if you have a conservatorship, you're deemed not capable of doing so. So it seems like there's a series of events that really play in his favor. He's was a high power attorney. He knew how to play the system. That's why he was so successful. He had a huge influence. I couldn't imagine a world where he didn't know how to navigate this the best way possible. I guess that's my best answer.
Either way, guys, part of the reason why I'm bringing any of this up is just there's so much news that comes out about Tom Girardi and Erika Jayne almost feels like almost every day. I'm surprised. Did we get anything new today? I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, kind of. I mean, we found out Erika Jayne has, relentlessly continued to try, her and her defense team, they've tried and tried to get Ronald Richards off the case because they feel like he exhibits tabloid-like behavior. They don't like how he navigates on Twitter. They don't like the posts that he does. And they feel like it's kind of him being this fame-hungry attorney who is using this case to boost his own career. But what people forget, and this is where I'm going to defend him, he has a resume that was way before the Erika Jayne fraud scandal. Way before. He's recovered hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's why the trustees thought in their minds, like, oh, wow, this guy is a pro. He's a shark at what he does. We're going to bring him onto the case. And that's exactly what they did. And he let us know today that she's motioned for this before, filed a motion to get him kicked off. And then the judge answered back with a 35-page statement, or whatever they call it in the legal jargon, saying, you're wasting our time. You're trying to prolong this case and it's BS. And then she used more money, which nobody knows where this money is coming from, but used more money to file another motion trying to get him kicked off again. So what that does is that stops everything else that's going on, because now they have to answer these motions and it's prolonging something. And like he said today, I don't know why she keeps prolonging it unless it's just to kind of get me off their trail, but it's not going to stop. Prolong it, great, but I have time. I have time and I have a team. I'm going to find out where the money is and how you're paying your legal fees. $600,000 in legal fees? It's a lot.
Speaking of Erika, I just wanted to ask you this, because, I haven't really delved into every single story. I hear that she has a new boyfriend. Who is he? Allegedly.
Okay. I was about to sip on this pain. But what I have to say about this is, do I think she has a boyfriend? And this is all speculation. I do. I think she has a boyfriend. I think that she's still young enough, obviously. She's a beautiful woman. I'm not saying she's beautiful on the inside. I don't know. Oh. I don't know her personally. I don't know. I'm not shading her either. And a lot of people don't like her right now. Like Sutton said, Bernie Madoff's wife does not have friends because nobody likes people who lie, cheat, and steal. But am I saying she did any of those? No, we don't know what she knew. Could she have a boyfriend? Absolutely. She's filed for divorce. She's moving on. She's been out of this relationship for over a year now, from what we know, or about a year. Why wouldn't she date? And then people wonder, Could she have a man who has a lot of money who could be helping fund this? Absolutely. And like Ronald Richards said, there's nothing illegal about that. We have to remember, for 20 plus years, she ran in these social circles that were like, we couldn't even, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I couldn't even imagine the amount of wealth that went on through these social circles. And she was around them. And could there be some guy out there who's just like hooked enough and is like, oh yeah, the pretty mess, pat the puss, like I want to get in the mouth. Like, yes, there could be somebody out there who is into it. I mean, people have foot fetishes, so somebody could have an Erika fetish. I'm just saying.
An Erika fetish. Whoa.
They could. Cheers to that. Not Baccarat, like I said.
You know, and we're going to get into this episode in just a second, because even in this episode, she alludes to wanting to, you know, have sex. So it's sort of like, oh, so she's yearning. She's yearning.
Yeah, and she's still a human. You know, she's a woman who has needs. Look how much, like, Teresa Giudice kept referring to her women parts as like the pineapple for a long time. So she went to jail. She had needs too. Like, we're all human beings. Human beings have needs. So I'm not shading her for that. I think that she could very much well have a boyfriend. We heard it as a rumor, but like you and I discussed, how many Roni rumors did we get that have already been debunked, you know? So could it be true? Yes. Has it been confirmed? No. And when they said Lisa Rinna is the only person who would have met this mystery man, if he is real, I could believe that, because Lisa Rinna is the only one who has relentlessly kind of stood up for her, stood in her corner and just said, I'm here for my friend, which is kind of BS, because this is said you never, this is the first time. But go ahead, Rinna. Go ahead.
Speaking of Rinna, this episode, we're going to dive into the recap. Guys, if you're just joining us, I'm here with our special guest, Up and Adam, very first time for a recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. To me, I felt like this is the perfect recap for us to collab on for this week, just because, first of all, you delve so much into what's going on off of the camera. So I had to bring you here to pick your brain. But before we get into it, I just want to remind people we are still raising money for the Hope for Haiti charity. Click the donate button. It's available on this video as well. We are trying to get to $5,000 by the end of August to raise money for those affected by the earthquake that happened in Haiti just almost a couple of weeks ago. So just a reminder of that. But let's dive into this episode. It opens with Lisa Rinna, who doesn't have a storyline. She doesn't have a storyline. The only storyline she has this season is with Scott Disick dating her daughter. Her daughters are there. And it seemed as if, for me, and you can let me know how you felt, Adam, it seemed as if she had them wearing her past fashions and modeling them so that they can actually get on a runway somewhere.
I didn't even think about that. Well, two things here. One, I hope Scott Disick is somewhere getting a kickback or off, like asking for it, because she mentions him. She's like relentless Rinna. She is constantly throwing his name out there, and she is the queen of using other people's storylines and even her daughters for a storyline, as opposed to talking about the husbands, which we all still want to know what's going on, Rinna. But getting back to her daughters, you know, I think Lisa Rinna, and I've thought about this for a long time, Jason would agree with me because we've talked about this. She effed up big, and she didn't realize until she did it, by accusing Yolanda Foster at the time, of having Munchausen's disease, and then having that whole thing become the whole main storyline for that season. She messed up because Gigi and Bella are two of the biggest models right now in today's time. Are they Naomi Campbell? Are they Giselle? No, they're not. But of today's time, they're huge. Gigi Hadid has done over 35 Vogue covers. She's been on American Vogue, which is massive. And
I'm so mad that you, Adam, who claims to not to be a fashionista, even knows that number.
Oh, well, I'm a Gigi Hadid-nista.
Oh!
Okay? It's a different kind of nista. But, you know, she obviously didn't ruin that relationship too much. I don't know how much influence Gigi or Yolanda had in on this, but when she did her Tommy Hilfiger collab, Delilah ended up walking in that show. Could that have just been her agent and nothing to do with the moms? Maybe. But anyways, my whole point was she missed a mark here, and she, you know, could have helped skyrocket her daughter's careers by having that relationship, because that's what it is when you're in the entertainment business, right? Business relationships with, it's almost like on YouTube, we all collab. It helps build numbers, it helps build our communities. It's the same thing but on a much smaller scale. Now she doesn't have that relationship, so would she use her very public huge platform to push her daughters? Yes. We're talking about the same woman who did a Dupin's commercial. She will absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. What do you
apparently
mean?
she needs to, because they also how many millions of dollars on that home?
Well, Ronald Richards said, oh, I don't know the number to be exact, so I don't want to throw it out there, but he said it was more than what their actual mortgage was. So,
Well, I think we found out why. Because according to Lisa in this scene, she says that Harry is very cheap, but he likes to give lavish gifts. And I think that's part of the reason why they're in debt. It's because of Lisa. I do want to say, DGF, thank you so much for the super chat. DGF says this. Literally, all that Dorit does is show up in an outfit. Also, her real accent came out while she was mocking Garcelle.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it did, didn't it? Who said that?
DGF.
DGF. Yes, you're right. It did come out when she was like, what did she say? Case in point made, or something like that. It was something, I forgot what it was, but Dorit. Are we crossing over, or are we still on Rena? Because I can go in on both.
Oh! Well, before
we have time.
I
am Zen Win right now, and I have time. So
I just want to Mayday to Jason. We need another glass.
No, Jason, we do not. You're gonna get me kicked off YouTube. You give me another glass.
Chrissy, thank you for the super sticker. For some reason, it didn't show up here. Oh no, wait, we got the super sticker. Thank you, Chrissy. Hold on, Chrissy says, oh no, it just says what the kind. Okay, we're using new technology here, y'all. It describes what the super sticker was. That's cool. That's better than StreamYard.
Different.
It's different. It's different. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are recapping the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yeah, there's nothing much left, Adam, to say about Lisa Rinna. That was the most that we got from her in this episode. Bernice, thank you so much for the super chat. Hold on, let me just get to it. Bernice, whoop, there we go. Bernice says this: Sutton shut down the evil queen when she laughed at her and said, don't bring it her to her, I guess. I loved it. Yes, we're gonna get into it. I know. We had to get a little, what's been going on the streets first. Now we're talking about the episode. The next scene that we get to is Dorit goes to Crystal's house and pretty much bashes Garcelle. What was your reaction to what she had to say about Garcelle and what Garcelle has been doing on the show? How do you feel about Garcelle? And it's okay if you don't like her.
No, I love Garcelle, actually. I love her for the show because she says what we're all thinking. I think as fans watching the show, Dorit, I think, is trying really hard this season. Well, she's evolved, right? We've seen a lot of housewives evolve throughout their seasons. Portia Williams, she was like Southern Belle, then Queen of Thoughtland. And then, now she's like putting herself on the front lines. We've seen, Brandi Glanville, she got messier and messier and messier. Ramona Singer has stayed the same. But we've seen people.
Has Brandi gotten better?
No, she just gets messier.
Oh,
she like gets worse.
I guess that's an evolution, just in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's like a decline revolution. But with Dorit Kemsley, you see, I was watching last night her very first season where she was introduced by Lisa, and she had a completely different face, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm not plastic surgery shaming you, but different fashion, different everything. And she's changed all of that every year to where now people watch the show looking to see what she's going to bring as far as fashion. She's kind of trumped Erika in that regard, because it used to be Erika who would show up and show out. And now Dorit is that woman for us. But I feel like she reaches in every aspect of her character on the show, from her fashions to trying to sell us this lavish life that she has, even though her assets, her bank accounts were allegedly frozen, even though she confirmed it, but frozen. And then for this, you're looking for a moment with Garcelle, which I think for her is silly, because all Garcelle said to you was that you kind of go out of your way to dominate the conversation. But we've seen that same conversation, like we saw in the B-roll, with Erika Jayne. We've seen it with Kyle Richards. Kathy Hilton even chimed in on it, which I love the subtle shade. But they've all said it, so why is Garcelle the monster here? And I think what she was really pissed off about was the fact that Garcelle cut her off when they were at that Kyle Richards holiday party. Well, dinner, and they're talking, and she said, "That's not what you said, Dorit." And she's like, "That's not what you said." But she's calling a spade a spade. You said it. You said it on camera. So you're trying to protect yourself right now because Erika is extremely intimidating, or at least she looks that way. And Garcelle was calling it. I like her. I appreciate her.
I appreciate her, and I think the fact is that Dorit didn't like being called out because Dorit normally is a hypocrite, but Garcelle's not afraid to call her out about it. Christina says this. Hello, quote of the night was, "Do we need to call PETA because she's beating this dead horse?" A whole vibe. Agreed.
There were two quotes. It was that, and they both pertain to Dorit. It was Garcelle's quote about the PETA thing, which I thought was hilarious. And then, not that any of beating a dead horse is hilarious. Let me just clarify. But
apologize here.
Yeah. And then also the Kyle Richards, saying you could ask Dorit what time it is, and she would tell you how to build the whole clock. And it's like, that just goes to listen, if everyone's saying the same thing, girl, take a breath. It's okay.
They must edit her out because I would never think that Dorit talks a lot, but apparently she does.
I wouldn't have thought so either, but like you just said, apparently she does.
Guys, if you're just joining us, of course, this is our weekly live recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We have our special guest, Up and Adam. More information on Up and Adam's channel and social media are available in the description of this video. Be sure that you guys subscribe and support as well. Let's move on because it gets juicier. This episode, I have to say, before we even get more into this episode, Adam, how are you feeling about the season so far of Beverly Hills?
It's one of my favorite. Only because and I don't know if that's personal or if that's, again, going back to it, I worked for one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? So I have a different connection with this franchise than the other franchises. So I've always watched, I've been an avid watcher and a huge fan of the franchises. This season, covering the Erika drama before it started playing out on the actual show, I think made me a little bit more invested. And you know how when we get like a super trailer or a teaser and it seems so climactic and we watch it and we're like, oh, I hope the season lives up to it. But then we get like Strippergate from Real Housewives of Atlanta and it didn't live up to it at all. Well, I'm just saying, they give us like a cliffhanger and then we're like, wait, is this the episode? Is this the episode? And I'm not doing that with Beverly Hills. I'm curious. I could ask you the same question. What are you feeling? Because these episodes, they're bringing the content to us. They're bringing that excitement, that moment. And I'm living for it. We didn't get that with Dallas. We didn't get it with Orange County. New York definitely is not delivering it. So Beverly Hills, I hate that it's on like the bootstraps of a scandal. I don't even know if that's a saying, but on the bootstraps of a scandal.
We'll make it a saying.
But is it?
No.
Oh, that's not. Okay. Okay. Whatever.
No, I have to say, no, I agree with it. To me, I'm like, why am I enjoying this so much? And it really, honestly, it's not about Erika's scandal. It's everyone else's reaction. And it's because of people like Sutton and Garcelle. And then all of a sudden we get a random moment from Kathy. That's what's making me love the episodes.
Yeah. And Kathy Hilton, nobody knew because she's such a public figure who does not get or let people into her lives, right? That's the best way to put it. She doesn't let us into her lives, even though her daughter is so super famous. The Hilton name is so famous. And we were all wondering, what is that going to look like? What is her personality going to look like? And I even said this today, like Paris and Nikki, they teased the fact that she was going to be so hilarious and funny. And even though they didn't want their mom to join the show, the franchise, that I think that you guys are all going to love her. And they were right. Because at first I was like, oh, if my mom was going on a reality show, I would be boasting her too, even though I'd be like, oh, shit, I hope this isn't going to be bad. Mom, please.
I don't want any of my family on a reality show.
No, not my family either. That would not be.
I don't want to even be on a reality show. Never mind family. God, no.
Nope. Jason and I opted out. No.
I would like to see you guys on a reality show.
No, you wouldn't. Maybe you would, but it wouldn't be. No.
Rasani, thank you for the 2 super chats. Rasani says this: Dorit thought she wasn't getting enough camera time, so she needed to have some camera time. When Garcelle said that you talk too much in the flashback, that was Garcelle telling you talk too much. pretty much.
Yeah.
Thank you for signing
Yeah.
for the super chat. I mean, look, Dorit doesn't have a story. There are quite a few women on the show that do not have a storyline, and Garcelle is one of them. But Garcelle brings so much other things. Dorit's not bringing anything else. What, fashion?
Well, see, to be honest with you, I don't really know, and no shade to Garcelle, I don't know what else or what other than being her most authentic self within the group dynamic and calling them all on their crap.
Mhm.
She doesn't have much of a storyline outside of that. Like her family life at home, it's cute to see her with her kids, and I think she's a great mom. But so is Emily Simpson on Real Housewives of Orange County. You know, she's a great mom, but it's not as interesting to watch. And maybe it's because there's not like that marriage dynamic where we can see the conflict and resolution within their own home. We don't see any of that. So she really overcompensates in a very genuine and authentic way when she's within the group setting. She calls the women on their stuff, and we need that character. We need that part of the ensemble cast who has the ability to do that. And so far this season, we only have two of those, which would be Sutton and Garcelle. Maybe Crystal as well, but right now it's
Crystal,
Sutton and Garcelle.
though, Crystal, I'm not sure about Crystal. Like, I like Crystal, especially in the beginning of the season, but I'm starting to see Crystal not speak up. First of all, I don't feel like any of them are speaking up. When we see this preview, first of all, in this episode, we get Erika going at Sutton, but in the future, we get Erika going at Sutton again, and I just feel like no one is stepping up for Sutton because she's being so aggressive, so aggressive. Mind you, Dorit calls Garcelle the bully, though.
Right. No, I think they're afraid of her, to be honest with you. I just think that like
She
all of
gonna
them
kill
are afraid to
them?
I don't know what they're afraid of. Like, I mean, honestly, what is she going to do to you? At this point, I would be like, your life is in shambles. I'm not here to bully you. But if you're going to talk to me like that and you're saying, I'm okay with going toe to toe to you, I'd be like, girl, let's go toe to toe. You want to play? What are you going to do? Drag me? No.
Okay, all
You don't
right.
want another lawsuit. So honestly, I would just call it all out. Like,
So you would taunt her?
I wouldn't taunt her. Well, Sutton didn't taunt her.
No.
She taunted Sutton, and this whole moment was something that you could tell was stewing within Erika from that conversation that she had with Kyle and Lisa when Kyle came over for her birthday, whatever, toast with the $500 champagne glasses.
Oh.
You could tell that was stewing with her because she's like, what is she afraid of her reputation? And, she's worried about that. How small town of her, how Augusta, Georgia. But I, even had a conversation with Dana Wilkie today, who was on Real Housewives for a little bit of time. And she said something that I already knew. Beverly Hills does have a very small, tight social circle. It's true. And even in Los Angeles, it sounds crazy. And I didn't learn this until after, being there for a couple of years and starting to meet people. You run into people, you meet people who know, everyone knows everyone. It sounds so dumb, but it's so true. And worrying about your reputation in LA, that's like the biggest thing that they do. They worry about their reputations. If you're in these social circles, you worry about your reputation. How are you going to look? What are you wearing? Look at Dorit. Come on. Come on. You know what I mean? And I think that her barking at Sutton the way that she did, it was uncalled for. That moment would have come eventually. Sutton would have said something where it would have pissed you off. Just wait for that moment. But in this moment, I don't think it was called for. Honestly, did you?
No, it came out of nowhere, and I think everyone was shocked. Even Kyle. I think I even have a picture of Kyle's face there. Hold on, let me go
Bring up the photo. Bring up the photo. And guys, almost 1,000 in the room. Hit that like button.
That was the goal. Yes, we have over 1,000. Yes, guys, like the video if you haven't already. Well, okay, that wasn't the particular moment, but there was another photo. I don't think I have it, but Kyle's reaction in that moment was me. I was just like, whoa.
Well, there was like a meme online that showed all of the like different women's faces when Erika said that to Sutton, and they were all like with their eyes real big and like, oh, is that actually happening? And then boom, pan over to Sutton's face, and she's just smiling. She's smiling like, honestly, your life is in shambles and mine is not. So.
But I want to kind of just backtrack, and I'm going to get to the super chats that you guys sent. I apologize. Look, like I said, I'm trying to have a conversation, but at the same time, see what everything that's going on. But in regards to reputation, I get it, and it sounds super shallow, But one of the things that Sutton mentioned in the previous episode was that she's a part of these charitable organizations. Reputation, if she's associating herself with someone that, first of all, is not showing remorse, it looks as if she might be somewhat guilty. Yeah, it's not going to be a good look for Sutton if she's trying to raise money for people that might be the same victims that might be associated with this whole other situation.
I agree with that.
So,
And
yeah.
I was just going to say, we've all heard, right, how hard it is for some of these parents to get their kids into different private schools. If you guys watch Bling Empire, like Christina Chu was moving her whole family from one part of Bel Air to a whole different street to get her kid in the best preschool ever. So her kid is set up for success when he goes to college. And I thought that that was intense and crazy. But your resume, everything has to be so clean. You need to be on different boards. She still has other kids than the daughter that we've seen. They're just not allowed to film. And she is still very much so a part of these different organizations or boards. I don't blame her for not wanting to be associated, even though by default, by being on the show and being a part of this cast, in some capacity, you are associated.
Yeah, unfortunately. But the only person that's been on Ronald Richards' radar is Lisa Rinna. I wish her luck. She might be deposed.
Good luck, Rinna.
Yeah. DGF, thank you so much for the super chat. DGF says this: the best part was when Garcelle acquiescent to Dorit's alleged complaint, effectively ending her attempt at a storyline and leaving her dust. Yes. Susie Q, thank you so much for the super chat. She says Garcelle and Sutton are the only ones who have backbones. The rest of the women are jellyfish. They really are. They really are. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah,
literally, look. Princess Gabby says Sutton is 100% right to be concerned about her reputation. And I think normally we would probably like, oh, have your friends back, have your friends back. But Erika really has not shown any remorse. Even last week with the conversation at the table, it was Garcelle who brought up the victims. And then it was Kathy who was like, yes, we should be concerned about the victims. Erika's response was like, did you believe her response? Awkward silence.
No, only because this is the thing, and I always try to play devil's advocate here. I watch her and I couldn't even imagine being in her position, but at the same time, I watch her respond and it comes off like a robot, like it doesn't have a lot of, and mind you, it's not like she just became that during season 11. She's been that way since season 6. She's been very like,
Has she been on since season 6?
Yeah, season 6, I believe.
Oh, so and giving us nothing for the last 5 seasons till now.
Well, she's given us everything this season, so or at least somebody's giving us everything, because whether she likes it or not. Because if you don't, LA Times will.
Sidebar. So we already talked. Kyle went over to Erika's home to celebrate her birthday. Blah 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 blah. It was Crystal's party that was probably the juiciest scene that we got. And we talked about that a little bit. But I do want to talk a little bit about Lisa Rinna's beauty. She's denied any sort of association or investment from Erika, and Erika has denied it as well. Did you see that never seen before scene from last week's episode where Sutton says she offered money to Erika?
Yes. Yes. And I asked Ronald Richards today, I was like, had she have given any money, would she have been deposed? And he's like, well, we would definitely ask her for what reason. Was it a loan? How is she going to pay you back? But he said, I have no reason. I don't think any of us have any reason right now to, waste her time. But when I saw that, obviously we know from how they're interacting now to how they were interacting at the beginning of the season, this was because of the divorce, right? So, or after the divorce. This was before the article started coming out. And I think that's a good friend. I mean, if you're going through a divorce, I'll send you a card and flowers.
You're not gonna send me a couple of million?
I'm not paying your bills. No. No.
I mean, one thing we've always seen from Sutton is that she's very good to her friends. So it says to me, and I've said this before, I feel like Sutton knows more. And that's part of the reason why she is really putting her feet in the ground and saying that I don't want to associate myself. I feel like she's not saying something. Even though she says in that never seen before episode, well, no, it was actually seen that we saw, where she says, one of the partners said that they left over 10 years ago because of their wife was saying something shady was going on with Girardi Keys, allegedly.
I mean, what do I say to that?
Nothing.
Like,
I'm going to say a super chat. Thank you, Dana, for the super chat. Dana says, Sutton's not patting the puss for a living. She needs to worry about how she is seen in Beverly Hills, the Beverly Hills scene. Shan, thank you so much for the super chats. Shan says, I guess heart, love, I guess. You two together. Thank you so much. Appreciate you so much. Let me just move this out. Okay. Okay, so this particular scene, Adam. Again, guys, if you're not subscribed to Adam's channel, I drop by there often as well to do some reality TV recaps. So be sure to check out. What did we do this week? We did 90 Day and we did Roni. And we actually had a really, really good. The Roni, I know you guys might not be watching it, but you'll love our recap of it because we talk about that and a lot of other things.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off that, at first we were thinking like, and I even had a conversation with you before we did it, and I was like, and then we did it, and it was a big success. We actually had a lot of great conversation. I thought I was going to be like, after 20 minutes, all right, Kempire, so I know you have a very busy schedule, so I'm going to let you go. That's normally how I segue out of it, but it lasted an hour, so I was pleasantly surprised.
The same way you try to segue out of that interview that you did with Paul from 90 Day Fiancé, I started watching it and I was like, ooh, this is 2 hours. I need to set this aside. It's in my watch later folder because I was like, that's almost 2 hours. I need to sit with popcorn, a meal, something.
No, so that's a little bit different because my biggest thing that I could, like Jason always instills this and like rams it down my throat is read the room, like know what's going on. And that was the classic case of not being able to read the room. So... No, not the same. Because I said like 15 times, okay, Paul, I know, you're busy. You have a family. No, I'm good.
Shut I can't wait to, because to me, it's just going to be comedy.
God.
All right. So Garcelle and Dorit have that back and forth. Dorit, we've already killed this conversation in regards to Garcelle and Dorit and what, honestly, what were they fighting about? Was Dorit just mad? The fact that Garcelle called her out last week in regards to her hypocrisy?
She just wanted a moment. Like, you want to be mad at somebody? Honestly, play even here. Play even. Go be pissed off at Kathy Hilton because she thought that you were from England. And if that would have been any other woman on the show and you're like questioning her accent, she would have been so upset with you and she would have made a moment out of it. But this is Kathy Hilton and we're not doing that because she will ruin you in this very small town of Beverly Hills, which is exactly what it is. So Erika, it's not Augusta, Georgia, no, but it still has that small town vibe. Dorit picks and chooses who she wants to have a battle with. And I don't think Garcelle, this wasn't warranted. Even bringing up the whole conversation that happened, back in La Quinta with Tom Girardi, it coming up that Tom Girardi calls Erika every day and her bringing it up, we all know this is why this feels like such BS to us. We know a couple of things here. Yeah. One, that conversation was caught on the hot mic and it was with Crystal Kung Minkoff. They had totally separate cars. 2, Garcelle walked into the tail end of that conversation. She wasn't a part of it. And she also wasn't there when Erika said, please don't share this. 3, producers pushed for Garcelle to bring up the conversation. This is their job. That's what they do. And that's what she did. She didn't know it was going to be this whole big moment. And for Erika, I have a lot of theories, but why did you react that big over, you leaking that Tom still calls you daily? Was it because you feel like you said too much? Or was it because your PR, your rep, whoever, let you know that there was an LA Times article coming out tomorrow? If you don't want to answer for it, you better create a moment and get the heck out of there.
What are your theories? You say you have theories?
Those are my theories. I think that I think the PR person might have let her know, whoever represents her, whoever's on her team and her camp, I think someone let her know there is an article coming out. It has a lot of information. They wouldn't know what information it actually had, but there's going to be a lot of questions asked for you if you're not prepared to answer them. And again, this is all speculation, but if you're not prepared to answer them, I would come up with an exit. And I think that's what she did.
Didn't the interview that Kate Casey did with the LA writers, they said that they had been reaching out to people close to her and to her representative. So she knew that they were working on this article. I don't know if she knew when it was coming out.
I don't think she necessarily knew, like, to the extent of, what all was going to be in the article, like all of the details. I don't even know if she knew when it was coming out, but I think maybe last minute she might have gotten word that something was coming. And that would have been why she would have said that she, needed to exit. Because right before, if you guys remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I watched this show for a sport. She let the women know, I'm just not feeling it right now. Maybe I might go home tomorrow. It just depends, or maybe I might stay. I'm not sure. And then boom, like 10 minutes later, we have Garcelle sit down and bring up the situation. And there's your exit plan. Now you get to get out, when you would have ended up leaving anyways, I feel like, and messaging the girls before the article came out and said, girls, like, I had to get back because I had some business to tend to or something. Yeah. I think that she wasn't prepared to talk about the article. And who would be, right? So I'm not faulting her. Yeah. But if you're not prepared, you don't know what's coming out, you can't come up with a game plan, and you can't kind of pre-strategize. There's no way, because it's coming out right when all the other women are like reading it first thing in the morning. And then what? You have an hour to digest, talk to your lawyer, know what you can and can't say, and then show up to breakfast and answer questions.
And mind you, she, remember, based on what Lisa Rinna said, that she had a big blow with the producers the day before. So she also probably didn't want that to play out the next day, if she's already not trusting anything that they're saying to her.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think what Garcelle said was that big of a deal, except for the fact that Emily D. Baker did point out this. Like, it did kind of debunk what she was originally saying when she was trying to sell us on this narrative that, by being with Tom Girardi, when I left him, he was kind of like, you want to go, F you, go. And that doesn't validate or give any credibility to that original statement, right? Because now you're saying that he calls you every day begging for you back, and you had to get your attorney to call his attorney, which is such an LA thing. You had to get your attorney, your people, to call his people to let him know, stop calling me. That's not what you originally said. So it almost makes you look like, well, what else is not truthful here?
I just live for, in that particular moment for Garcelle in this week's episode, where Garcelle was just like, you. I was just like, what? I lived.
Wait a minute. I'm so. Did you just do that yourself?
Uh-huh.
Oh. I was like, wait. Are we on live TV right now? How did you do that? Sorry.
We're playing with new things. Look.
I like that. I need one of those buttons.
After the show, I'll let you know how you can do it. You can even do it on StreamYard, but we'll talk. But yeah, so for me, it felt so good because I needed Garcelle to say that to Dorit, first of all, because I've been saying to Dorit for years. But it was such a monumental moment because you're right. It was just like, why would you bring that up? Because you weren't even, first of all, you weren't even a part of that original conversation in not Lake Tahoe, in La Quinta.
Yeah.
So bringing that up, that really was a low blow. And then she doubled down on it. It was like, well, you're a smart girl. What?
No, I think that I need the bleep button, but when Garcelle was like, you, yeah. Yes. Yeah. All of that. When she's saying all of that, which I still bleep myself out by myself, but that made sense. Like, that was the whole point I was getting to. What happened behind the scenes. And that's what Garcelle kept saying. And Dorit's like, actually, I don't. It's like, no, girl, you do. Lisa Rinna posted on her IG stories that we wish that you guys, as the viewers, could have seen the actual fight, the showdown that went on between Erika and the producers. Everyone was in the house. Dorit saw it. I'm sure they had conversations about it. But that I'm sure you've had a conversation with the producers. They're not going to show that one scene. So here's a moment that you can use and accuse Garcelle of kind of masterminding this thing. But they already ruined it before we saw this episode. So now Garcelle, it validates her and it makes Dorit kind of look like a fool. Because two things. One, she knows what happened and she's acting like she didn't. And two, like Garcelle said, if you want to work on this. But you weren't even a part of that conversation. So butt out of it. It has nothing to do with you. You're deflecting. That's exactly what that was. Deflection.
And in that particular moment, she called Garcelle a bully. Mind you, I don't feel like what Garcelle was doing was bullying, but when Erika snapped at Sutton and she snaps at her again later in the season, that to me is more of a bully. What do you
Do you have a ding 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 sound effect?
Oh wait, maybe. Hold on. I have
Eh.
this. Not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite. Wait. Oh wait.
I don't know about that one. But I mean, that was more of a bully moment. That exactly, then shut up, and like talking like that and just shutting her down and telling her to keep her mouth shut and you don't know anything. And that was a bully moment. Garcelle made the most sense. She said a bully is usually the person who's aggressing the aggressor in the situation. That's not me. I'm just kind of answering and dealing with the information that you're giving me to deal with. I'm not bullying you. And I agree with Garcelle, especially in today's time. People are held a lot more accountable for their words, and you can't label people. You just can't. You can't call her, if she's a bully, sure, then label her as a bully, but know what that means. It's just like, what did they call Crystal, or what did Crystal Kung Minkoff say about Sutton, that she felt violated? And then she gave us the Google definition, and she's like, that's exactly what I felt. So even though you guys think that that's a strong word, I felt violated. But she also backed it up, and she explained what the word meant, and she was right. Does it feel like a strong word? Yes. But Google definition let us know Crystal was using it appropriately, and Dorit was not.
Of course, Dorit wasn't using it correctly. But Dorit, her using the word bully, and I know I've seen a lot of people having conversations, it was just another way of her saying the word aggressive. Very much what we saw in the Real Housewives of New York. I feel that's exactly what she was trying to insinuate. And I think just the fact that last conversation that she had with Garcelle, and Garcelle was like, do you not have any other people of color that don't work for you? And she's like, of course not. But mind you, that's what you said. You literally said, we have people that work for us that are all shades.
Well, can I ask a question here too?
Yeah.
We saw where Jen Shaw had a complete breakdown on Salt Lake City because she said, you don't understand how dangerous labeling me as aggressive is as a woman of color, right? And then we saw Ebony K. Williams on Real Housewives of New York, who also said, you're calling me aggressive. Leah's running around the table calling all of you guys hoes, and you didn't call her aggressive. And you, again, don't understand how dangerous that is labeling me. Now, I could imagine that there's a slight difference, but wouldn't that be, if those other labels are dangerous, wouldn't labeling Garcelle as a bully also in some capacity be dangerous?
Exactly. And I think she chose her words specifically to not, for just to sort of to disguise it. Instead of saying aggressive, I felt like she used the word bully to sort of disguise it as, oh, you're being aggressive. So,
which didn't, it wasn't better. And she is
it wasn't better.
She's premeditated from the glam to what she's going to say to the, I saw another meme on, maybe it was Bravo Snark side or something, but where they were like, why did you use the moment of a group setting to have this conversation? Why didn't you pull Garcelle aside and have this conversation? Because you wanted a moment. And that's what she wanted. She wanted a moment. So you knew what you were going to say because you've been thinking about this moment and you knew exactly when you were going to address it. And I'm sure she had conversations with her husband and she knew what word she was going to use. Like you said, I feel like she definitely came prepared with the word bully.
And Dorit hasn't had a storyline in seasons. I do want to say thank you to everyone for the super chats. Flying Monkey Toad says, I love the names. Time to vote. Dorit off the effing island.
Oh, wait, but you said Dorit hasn't had a storyline in a long time. What was her storyline? I mean, honestly, I'm not being shady. I'm not being shady at all. It could be the champagne. But I'm asking, like,
Jason, bring some more in, please.
No, I locked the door.
Oh!
I canceled my bartender.
Take another sip. Take another sip.
No, my question is, whatever was her storyline, I feel like the biggest moment she had on the show, she had two big moments on the show. One was where it looked like a giant gold goose took a giant gold dump on her head. That finale, remember? And those were Lisa Rinna's words, not mine. But when her husband, who actually had the real moment and told Erika, I don't think you're deliberately cold. I think you're inherently cold. Ooh. And then the other one was when she was at Pump and she was trying to have this resolve with Lisa. And Lisa wasn't having it because Dorit wouldn't apologize. And then she said, Lisa's like, okay, bye, I love you. And she's like, how can you say you love me? And Lisa gave her that moment where she's like, actually, I don't. So piss off. And that's why I love her, by the way. But, I can't.
We need some more Lisa, well, not Lisa Rinna, Lisa Vanderpump back on the show.
We'll never see her on the show again.
Ugh.
It's like Bethany Frankel. We all want it, but they're doing so much better. They don't need it.
Okay. I just went to Dana. Thank you so much for the super chat. Dana says this. Did anyone notice that Dorit put on her sister girl voice and neck roll when she confronted Garcelle? Microaggressions much? Now I have to go rewatch. But it's worth it. Say it again.
What does that mean, a sister girl voice?
She pretty much tried to, I hate to sound black, even though there really isn't anything sound black. So it's something like that. It's sort of like like a black scent. That's what they like to call it. A black scent.
I didn't know that.
Like, yeah. Like a stereotypical thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Rasani, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, Adam, next time Ronald Richards is on, ask him if he's going to go after Amex too.
I mean, yeah, he is. Definitely. He even said that. No, he said that. He's going after. Listen, at this point, with everything that they're going after, there's only so much left. I think that's important for everybody to remember. We just found out that there's over 101 complaints, $101 million worth of complaints from the creditors that are saying that Tom Girardi owes this. And we just found out that per the trustee, Tom Girardi only has $4 million in assets. You guys do the math. Like Sutton said, I'm not good at math, but 2 + 2 = 4. And that $4 million does not hold the candle to 101 million.
I beg to differ that Sutton's not good at math. Sutton, I think, is brilliant, and I think she likes to play stupid. Come on! You've interviewed her before.
No. I think that she. No. I'm not shading her. I was thinking about Dorit playing stupid for a second.
Oh, she's not.
No, Sutton. I do. I think Sutton's great. I think she's extremely intelligent. She's smart. She's savvy. She doesn't come from the Beverly Hills world or that upper echelon of wealth. She made her way into that world, and she's thrived. She's continued to be there. She's in, she's on different boards. I have nothing negative to say about her. And even my conversation with her, she's very down to earth. Did I get her the first season as opposed to like 4 seasons in where you get like Dorit, who looks like a whole new Dorit with the same blender accent? Yes. But maybe in the future, Sutton might be like, I don't have time for you. I'm a housewife. She didn't do that to me, though. Not now.
I love that. Adam, can we keep you just for a little bit longer? I know it's already...
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
All right.
No,
we have over...
Bartender. No, I'm kidding.
We have over 1,000 people watching. Be sure to like this video if you haven't liked it already. We are also still raising money for Haiti. They recently had a terrible 7.2 magnitude earthquake. Not even a couple of weeks ago, and they're still trying to get back to normal since 2010's earthquake. So right now, according to their representatives, they need money more than anything else. So let's get to our goal of $5,000 before the end of the month. The donate button is available on this video. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Mods, I appreciate you all being here. We still have some more conversation to be had. Speaking of Ronald Richards, you've interviewed him quite a few times, and I'm always impressed. And I don't just say this because you're here, Adam. I'm very upfront and honest, and I'll shade you behind the scenes.
I was going to say, I would imagine that you would say it to get me here, but now that I'm here, just let me have it. Lay it on thick, whatever you got.
No, but I'm always impressed with your conversations with him because he is, first of all, Ronald Richards is a certain type of energy. So I understand how your flow with Emily is very different. It's a little bit more organic. It's a little bit more conversational. But
it's like talking to a friend.
Yeah. So with Ronald, he's a little bit more guarded. I mean, there's a different energy, but you're able to handle yourself very well with him and ask him really, really important questions. And most specifically this week, is there anything that you felt that you wanted to ask Ronald Richards that you haven't asked in regards to this case?
No. You guys have to remember too, just like you and I have conversations outside of here, that we don't necessarily blast on here for everybody else because, well, sometimes it might not be appropriate. It might not, Like there might be a reason for it. I have other conversations with Ronald Richards as well. So if I have questions, I think he's more than happy to answer them. But just like what we see from Erika being able to only answer as much as she can by being tied into all of this, and she has people letting her know what she can and can't say to some capacity. For Ronald Richards, he gives us as much as he can, which is more than what they want him to give, but legally he's allowed to. And if I ever have a question, he answers it, and I respect his position, for what he's doing and the amount of information that he actually gives. And the fact that he gives me exclusives, I'm very thankful. He's let me know since day one, I'm not your friend. I'm an attorney on the case.
Ouch.
And I respect that. Honestly,
Ouch.
it doesn't hurt my feelings. I would rather know where I stand with you, and that I'm good with that. I really am. That doesn't hurt my feelings. Like, he's like, I'm not your friend. I'm an attorney. I'm on the case. We're doing an interview. It's very black and white. Like, it's point blank period. Here it is. And I appreciate that, because I don't have to pretend like, okay, we've known each other for something. No, it's just cut and dry. Give me the facts. Give me the information. Let's call it a day. We'll end the video. Thank you so much. And he knows exactly what he's doing. So no, there's nothing that I feel like he could give me that he doesn't. I respect the process. And I know when he does have information, we talk. So when he has it, I'll have it and you guys will have it.
Most definitely. And that's another reason why you guys should subscribe to Up and Adam here on YouTube. All of that information is available in the description of this video, along with Adam's most recent interview with Ronald Richards. Speaking of this whole episode and this season so far, I do want to know what you think of the season so far. But at the very end, I didn't expect this because I thought they would end this particular episode with that conversation at Lisa, who's buying Rena Beauty? But sidebar, and the fly on the lip, that was disgusting.
That was gross. But no, you're right. You are right about they cut that scene was so short. I was shocked. But I think it was important. They wanted to get in the sister dynamic with Kathy Hilton. Yeah. And they also wanted to show her setting up the table, giving subtle shade to Dorit. And twice in one episode. And then having that sister dynamic and that rift, that 10-year rift addressed. And I'm very happy the way that they kind of transitioned into that, because could I have done with the whole rest of the episode being about the Rena Beauty? Yes, absolutely. But when I get Kathy Hilton, it all goes away. I don't care. I'm good. I could have Erika and Sutton going at each other's throats, and then you could just pan over to Kathy, and I am not disappointed. I'm happy.
Before we get to the conversation between Kathy and Kyle, there was that moment where Garcelle was losing it, and Garcelle was just going, "Where's my little thing?" Oh wait, Garcelle was multiple times. She said that happened. Kathy was like, "That happened." Kathy was busy putting on her lip gloss, and she said her lips were dry.
But was it Rena Beauty gloss, or was it not?
Probably not.
It was not. We know it wasn't. It definitely was not Rena Beauty gloss, and it's just funny because she is everything that they all aspire to be. She is that just next level of wealth. Please bring out the food tray. You know what I'm talking about. Kempire actually has it. Kempire is that next level of wealth. So
I was like, Kathy does it. Oh, if it's good for Kathy, it's good for me.
I mean, she's the one who has her AC bill is probably over $1,000.
I'm so mad you said AC bill.
Is it an electric bill?
It's probably central air.
Oh, I don't pay the bills here. Jason does. So I just Kathy Hilton you. I don't pay the bill. I don't touch the bills. Jason touches them. I honestly don't even know what the bills look like. So.
Oh, excuse me. What the life you live?
We don't. It's not like I'm not Kathy Hilton by any means, but I don't pay them. Jason just tells me, okay, well, the bills are paid. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So we did it this month. I'm just happy that they're paid.
You're just happy the lights are still on.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, is Hulu going to shut off on me? No, this month it's not. We're good. I'm like, great. And then he's like, we got to take the dogs to the groomer. I'm like, is that okay? He's like, yes, it's okay. Okay.
Wow,
it's not
living the life
dramatic, but
it sounds as if you do need some trays. You need some of your own trays.
I told you this earlier. We moved into a smaller place, and we had a place here that we ended up selling because right now the real estate market it's a seller's market. So we took advantage of it, and we moved into a smaller place for the time being. Jason asked me today. He's like, "Do you want to move to Miami?" I was like, no, I don't want to move to Miami. But we moved into a smaller place and we had this beautiful table before, and it was like this kind of custom looking driftwood table. But mind you guys, I'm not bougie. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, but it's so nice and it didn't fit in the new place. So now we have bar stools at our little kitchen thing. And I'm like, oh. And then I saw the TV tray today and I'm like, that brings me back to 13, 14 years old. I want the TV tray. I want a black or white or silver, gray, something monochromatic TV tray.
It's going to have to be black. It has to be black.
It has to be.
Data says, does Adam know what an ATM is? Are we going to have to call you Erika Girardi, Adam?
No, because there's no victims involved here. And I know what an ATM is. You know, my mom said this. I was talking to her the other day, and I said, I'm so annoyed. I'm sitting at the car wash place, and she said, how long have you been there? And I said, it's been like 25, 30 minutes. And she's like, why don't you go get it done yourself? And I was like, well, you have to vacuum it. She's like, right, they have places. And I was no.
You're having a very interesting life. I learn new things every time we have a conversation.
Well, because I'm just not, there's certain things that I'm really good at and there's certain things that I'm really not good at. Like Jason, when we're home, like there's certain chores that I don't have to do because I'm really bad. And there's other things that he won't touch because I'm good at that. I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not. And cleaning, washing a car is not one of them, and paying the bills is not the other.
Wait, this is a perfect segue. If you guys are just joining us, first of all, we have over almost 1,000 people watching. Like the video if you haven't already. It's a great way of supporting the channel. Let's get to at least 500 likes, y'all. And I love to play the game of the 7 people who disliked it. What are you disliking? Calm down. But you talk about chores, and first of all, I want to know what the chores that you're good at and the ones that Jason does. But in this episode, we got to see Erika Jayne doing chores. Go ahead.
Oh no, I saw somebody in here say, they said, Samaya said, Adam says, who's Bill? And then Logan said, Adam Hilton. And then random name said, Adam's a diva. And then P said, Adam outsources. No, I'm not another Erika or Teresa. No, okay, Sasuke.
I mean, you're sounding very luxurious. I have to say, this week alone,
that's the thing. Is if Jason was on here with us, and eventually we'll get him on, he'll let you know that I'm super low key and frugal with, you know, how I spend my money, and
that's what I thought until this week.
I really am, but then there are certain things like that I don't want to compensate on, and like one of them is like I don't, like, you have a house. I'm not living in a house. I'm living in a different situation, right? So I don't have like a
part of this conversation.
I don't have a hose outside to go wash my car, so I'm not going to go wash it. And then what am I going to take, like a handheld vacuum and vacuum it? No. So I'd rather pay $15, $20 to go get my car done. And you ask what chores do we do? Listen, like, I'm not a bathroom person. I don't like to touch the bathrooms. That's Jason. So Jason can touch the bathrooms. Jason makes the bed. I take the dogs out. Every morning I feed the dogs. I make sure there's water. I give them a cookie when we come in. I sweep. I fluff the pillows on the couch. I make sure the blanket's good. I also do dishes. Jason does dishes too. But then I grocery shop. And when I grocery shop, like when it's time for lunch and dinner, I cook. So I do other things that I'm good at. And then I also take out the trash. This is going to sound bougie. They have trash valet here, so you just stick it outside your door and they pick it up between 6 and 7. But I put it outside the door and they pick it up. So
what kind of life are you living?
No,
trash valet.
That's just new communities, but it's not really bougie at all. I'm telling you, like, I have my own chores and I work. I'm on here. How many videos do I do a day? I do 3 to 5 videos a day, and I'm also like, I'm taking care of this whole little family dynamic that I have. So I'm good, and I feed plants. So we have a lot. Okay?
Well, come feed these ones, because I'm just like, I can't.
I wasn't going to say anything, but...
You'll be judging my plan.
Somebody said Adam talks to the housekeeper. I would never have a housekeeper in my life. I honestly, like, it's not... Jason would have a housekeeper. I wouldn't have a housekeeper. I seriously, this sounds like Adam Hilton. I'm not Adam Hilton. I'm very down to earth, and I'm very... Like, I do shit. Okay,
Adam, this week, I don't know. I've gotten a lot of signs that you're very fancy.
I swear I do. Ask Femtero, she'll pull a card.
I'm not pull a card. Okay, all right, guys. I'm going to let you go in just a little bit. But the reason why I brought that, the whole lifestyle and the chores and things, did you believe what Erika, was that just to put on for TV? The whole
The
chores.
lifestyle?
Yeah, the chores and her vacuuming and
No, I mean honestly, I think that that's what she has to do now. Like, I mean, are you taking advantage of a moment for TV? Does it help? Does it make you look like a little bit more humble when we've never seen that side? Yeah, absolutely. But also, shit needs to get done around the house. You know, like if you had cameras in my house, somebody's going to be vacuuming the. Actually, I've never vacuumed my couch
it's
ever.
good. It's a good
But
thing to do, unless you have a leather couch.
yeah, and I don't. So, you know, like I would be doing chores. There's the floors need to, like I said, if you don't have a housekeeper, these things still need to be done. Somebody has to dust. I didn't say it was me, but somebody has to do it. You
Right, let
know?
me get to these super chats. I keep forgetting. Rena, thank you so much for the super chat. She says Erika should start a new career as a house cleaner. What? Data, thank you for the super chat. Data, he's being shady, but he's like, but how much is a gallon of milk, Adam? Adam actually does the grocery shopping.
Yeah, here it's $3.59. So, or it depends if you're getting the stuff. I get whole milk, and Jason hates it, and that sometimes could be like 4 or 5, depending on if I go to Publix or Trader Joe's. Listen, don't come for me with the grocery shopping. I know what it costs. I'm the frugal one. Don't forget that.
Honestly, I'm glad that you know. I do grocery shop, but I don't go in the store. I actually order them. I have no idea how much a gallon of milk
Okay,
is.
so let's talk about you then, Bougie. And also, a lot of the chat agreed with me that trash valet is a very common thing, and somebody even just said that they have it at their RV park. So,
RV park.
yeah, they said
Oh,
that.
that's a fancy RV park. Okay, I don't know. I live in New York. We don't have that here.
And Kempire was just saying that he. By the way, I'm going to expose you for a second because you were mowing your lawn or doing the yard earlier, and then you explained,
Yesterday.
"Well, I'm about to." Oh, yesterday, and I'm about to get back on. You know, the whole getting somebody to do my yard. If I had a yard, oh, I can't say that. I don't want to commit to that. I would think that I would maybe mow it, but I would probably do it once, and then I'd be like, no, 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 no.
Yard work is a lot. It's back-breaking work. It
Yeah.
really is.
No, and I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't have a yard, but I would imagine, yes, it would be back-breaking work.
And I literally went to do the yard work, and then I went to be on live with you on your channel.
Yeah.
Sweaty
See?
and all.
You need a Jason.
I really do. Femtaro says it's not happening. I'm not joking. I'm joking.
My damn Femtaro. She's great when it's good news, and then when it's bad news, you're like, damn, Femtaro, I wish you would have kept that to yourself. I didn't.
No, she didn't say that it's not happening. There's a lot going on in my life, especially business-wise, so that's what it is.
No, that's good.
Sass says, wait, Kempire, you live in New York City? What yard? I have one. I have a big
Bougie.
I have a big yard. Hold on, wait a second. RV is not a trailer. I didn't say it was a trailer. Someone else probably said it was a trailer in the chat. All right, let me get to these super chats. Hold on. First of all, Susie, thank you so much for the super chat. Bougie is having someone come to your house to wash your cars like I do. Okay, now I'm embarrassed. Exactly, Susie. Dana, thank you again for another super chat. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
In New York City, the rats are trash valet. Come on now. Why'd you got to put that like that? Anyways, I'm not gonna keep you much longer. I want to.
Oh, you're fine. Honestly, you don't have to rush it for me. I'm good.
Oh, okay, good. Well, fine.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk more stuff because I do want to talk. I want to pick your brain on some of the other shows we were first talking about. But Beverly Hills overall, how are you feeling about the season?
I'm loving it. Like I think it's unfortunately it's on the back of a scandal, but I think it's a great season. I'm enjoying watching the women's reactions. I like seeing how everything's playing out in real time. I like being introduced to new characters, whether it's Kathy Hilton, Crystal Kung Minkoff, or even seeing a bigger role for Sutton. And the dynamics have shifted a little bit. So I'm enjoying it. I thought, honestly, a lot of this season would be geared at the beginning, before we knew about the Erika drama, it would be geared around Garcelle and Lisa Rinna trying to forge some sort of relationship after she did what she did to Denise by being so relentless. But that was so overshadowed when all of this stuff came out. So it had a lot of surprises.
That would have been boring.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, it would have been very boring. But thank God, that was not the case because, oh gosh, then we would have had a Real Housewives of New York or OC or Dallas, and somebody would have been canceled. It would have been a whole show. or no show.
Hold on, wait a second. Okay, Logan says we can talk about you too, Kempire. What about me? Adam says
That
that.
you're bougie.
I was calling Jason the Adam. I mean, Jason says loving the season so far. Let me just see what everyone's saying. My real mistake avatar says my two faves. Love that, love that. People love it when we have our conversations, Adam.
Oh, hey guys, thanks.
And as a
I love it
reminder,
when Jason
y'all.
comes in with. Jason, by the way, leave me champagne.
Oh,
He's in the chat, so I'm just going to say that because I heard him just open the fridge and I heard a cork pop.
oh.
So,
I'm glad you can hear it because we can't.
yeah. Oh no, I'm like a cat. Okay.
Oh, Obi, thank you so much for the super chat. Obi says, "Who told Garcelle to sit down when she was about to walk out? Dorit can go. She was reaching. At this point with Erika, I think she might be dealing with Kempire. Don't walk away, a psychopath." Oh, Obi, thank you so much for the super chat. It was Kathy Hilton who told her not, to sit down.
Yeah, and everyone listens to Kathy.
Basically, everyone. Oh, we didn't dive into Kathy's conversation with Kyle. I didn't realize it was 10 years where they were not really talking.
No, that was sad. And seeing that moment with Kathy, like giving us real emotion, even though Emily said that her face didn't move, and I felt bad.
So shady.
You can tell though because she doesn't like to give like she's out there on a reality show, right? She's giving us as much as she feels like is appropriate from what she thinks she should be giving us, but we don't get a lot of emotion. She's not going to show us the inner workings and how the machine works behind her walls. You know what I mean? Like she's not going to give us those goods. And this was a moment where producers caught her and she was sad. And I felt for her because 10 years not talking to a sibling, that would be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect it. Kathy continuously just gives me things that I don't expect. Funny moments and then this really emotional moment. I really didn't expect it. But I do feel the genuine bond that the three sisters have. I really wish we got a little bit of Kim this season. They're just talking about her, but we haven't seen her.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think she's making a cameo later in the season. That's what we've heard.
Oh, okay.
And I would hope, I mean, I want to see what it looks like with the three of them being together. But I'm okay with the dynamic now too. You know, I want to see this relationship repaired before we see a third person come in and, have a play in it. And I think that's part of the reason that, like Kyle Richards said, before their mom was here to kind of mediate the relationships between the girls, and now they're not here. So, or her mom's not here, unfortunately. So now they kind of hash it out, they fight, and it takes however long to get back together. I think that Kathy and Kyle need to get to a strong place before they start including a lot of Kim into that relationship. Which I'm surprised that Kim even has anything to say about anything because Kyle and Mauricio are paying her, like she's living in their rental home. And I'm sure she's living rent free. So I don't know why you would even voice your opinion. I would just be quiet and like write it in a book. And then when you get evicted, then put it out. Like be normal about it.
Because she's entitled.
She's like, I was a child star. Okay.
I mean, she really was.
I mean, I know, but that was when you were a child, which was like.
Oh, the shit.
No, I was gonna say something, but no, like we'll give you. This is an appreciation video for you, Kim Richards.
Is that book still coming out from Kim?
It already came out.
Oh.
Yeah, it's out. I know. I haven't read it. I need to read it. But obviously it didn't have anything to like, honestly, when the book came out, if it would have had enough information, it would have made headlines. Like if she was actually mentioning Harry or there was something that we didn't know, it would have been everywhere and we would have read about it, but we haven't read about any of that. So I'm guessing the book did not have that much information because it came out like a couple months ago.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, Kim. Damn.
Sorry, Kim, but at least you have Mauricio. You're an honorary Umansky.
Oh, damn. Okay. because it's very rare for you to be on my channel because you know you're very bougie. I want to talk a little bit, moving away from Beverly Hills. Can we just talk about some of the other Housewife shows?
Yeah, who?
Okay, let's talk about Potomac.
Uh,
Oh, why that face? Are you not liking Potomac this season?
I like Potomac. I don't know. I mean, I like parts of Potomac. I just have that. There's like that special relationship that I have, with you know who, which it just gives me like a bad taste in my
Oh,
mouth when I watch the show because I'm just like watching her and I'm like, I look at you in a totally different light because I feel like this person is the common denominator and so many riffs that are on the show. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but you guys do the math like Sutton says, but 2 + 2 = 4. You are the one who's throwing a butter knife. You're the one who gets into a physical altercation to the point that you're getting dragged across the table. You're calling in the midseason trailer the newbie's husband a pimp and calling, like referring to her as a hoe. You want to kind of be the person who initiates these sort of ugly situations, but then you also want to be the victim. So it's just hard to watch because I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I'm getting Dorit vibes. Like, you're always kind of looking for a little bit of a moment. If anybody of this show, if there were to be an MVP, it's either Michael Darby or Dorothy.
oh.
Seriously, like in the midseason trailer, they're like, do you think that Robin was asking, do you think that Chris is trying to like come up off of Candace or something like that? It wasn't verbatim that, but she's like, hell yes. And I'm like, Dorothy for the win.
Dorothy doesn't care. When you're allegedly, very much like what Mauricio's doing for Kim, supplying for someone's life, you don't care. You can say whatever you want.
Oh, somebody said the book publishes in October. Was I wrong with that? Because I thought somebody already.
Are you on here lying to me?
No, well, somebody told me that they already read it, and I was like, wait a minute. I thought this was.
Maybe they got an early copy. Oh, I had a feeling it wasn't that because I feel like there would have been more.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, if you already read it, unless you're like somebody a part of the industry, then how would you? Well, maybe they could. Honestly, Angela Deem, Dorit, this was the first person to give you a thumbs down today. Who knows who watches us when we're doing videos? So you really don't know.
The entire cast of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills disliked the video.
I have Bethany Frankel on my IG this morning, so like you don't really know who's watching you, and it's kind of terrifying and exciting at the same time. Be careful what you say. That's why I don't say names, but I'm a big fan of Dorothy. I'm just not the biggest fan of your daughter.
We're going to segue from that because I want to know your thoughts on the whole Dr. Wendy Asefo drama that she's having with Giselle this season.
I think that's another case of one of these housewives looking for a moment. One, it was catty, it was shady. It's disrespectful to talk about somebody's marriage, but I feel like Giselle's coming from the point of view of you guys have all went in on me and the pastor. You guys have talked about me. You've talked about the headlines. You talked about these little various babies around here and like the infidelities that have happened. So if you've done it to me, then it's game on. I'm going to do it to you, which I understand. But the only annoying thing here, and Karen Huger pointed it out on Bravo's chat room, she said, Giselle, you did this so clever. You went over and shared this rumor with Ashley. You gave her the rock. Ashley threw the rock, and you're like, look, I have nothing in my hands. I'm clean. And that's exactly what Giselle did, but that's why she's a producer's dream. Because if there's information to get out, they know that they can share it with her, and she's going to do her job. She's going to make sure she already added a house on top of her house, and she might want to extend it and build an addition, add like a little third house on top of that house. Make it all kind of look like a Ripley's Believe It or Not. She's
not a
So I'm not dogging on her. I think that she's a producer's dream.
Oh my God. I mean, she is, but she isn't at the same time. Because I felt like the conversation that she was having with Dr. Wendy Asefo, she didn't engage in it. She just was like, I'm going to sip my, whatever she was drinking. What was she drinking? I don't know what that was.
The tea.
Yeah, she was sipping the tea. But she wasn't giving us, that's what we loved about Anini. We got something. She's not giving anything.
Yeah, that's true. I'm reading the chat too while you're saying.
I noticed.
While you're talking about this. Sorry, I'm looking at this, and people are saying, Adam, you hate Candace, which is not true. I don't hate Candace. Again, I don't know these people personally. And first of all, hate is such a strong word. It's like saying bully, right? So I don't hate anybody. I don't know them personally, and they're not important enough for me to hate them. Okay. When it comes to this character on the show, I'm just saying we're watching it and we're only getting the edits that we see on the show. So we're forming an opinion. And I've also interviewed this person. I've had this person go in on me on Twitter. So you watching the show, do you hate Erika or do you love Erika? Do you hate, Dorit? Do you love Dorit? Same thing with every franchise. You have the cast members that you don't favor and you have the ones that you really like. And for this franchise, it's the same thing. Same thing for me. I have the ones that I like. Like I'm liking, I love Ashley, the way that she's able to bring the shade. Karen Huger, I think she's evolved so much. I don't really totally dislike Giselle because I see that she understands the assignment from the producers and she follows through with it. So I like that. I don't like Robin Dixon on the show. I don't think she offers anything. Mia, I'm liking her a little bit more. And Candace, unfortunately, she's one of those kind of annoying cast members like Lisa Rinna who keeps the storyline moving. That's it. But I don't hate anyone.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think a lot of fans get invested in these shows, and they do love certain people, and they really do hate certain people. We've seen it. We've seen all the death threats that Erika Girardi's been getting, Candace as well. You and I are both, I think, very similar in that way. We are invested in regards to what we do, but we're not invested to the point where it's like when we're not reporting on these people or watching the show, we're not living or talking about these people. Like if you and I are going back on a conversation, it's not about what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And I see too where Jason's going to be like, why do you talk about this? Because he's in here. And he's like, why do you read the comments? He always says that to me. But, people are like, well, Adam, Monique. Who cares? That doesn't mean that I dislike somebody because I know Kempire, but if Kempire doesn't like somebody, that's not my battle. I don't care. You know what I mean? And it's funny. It depends how much you really want to invest yourself into these situations. And like you just said, when we get off of here, this is work for us. It's not like, do we know everything there is to know about the shows for the most part? Yeah, because we watch it, study it. You have to have your shit together when you come on and you talk about it, right? Yeah. But you aren't really thinking about it outside the show. I still have a relationship. I have a family. I have things going on. I don't care about housewife feuds if I'm not talking about it. That is my moment to care. And then it's after that, I just kind of clean it off and I go live my life.
And we'll move. Look, as I said, I appreciate. First of all, we're already over an hour and a half, but look, this is your first live ever being here, so it was important for us to have you here and ask questions. What's coming up for you? We'll talk a little bit more Housewives if you have a little more time. What's coming up for you that people should be on the lookout for?
Oh, I can't give too much, but I do have exciting things coming up. I have a few great interviews with different housewives. Those are coming up. I have 3 that I already have set up. Wow. They're going to be happening in September and the first week of October. I have Perez Hilton coming on my show. That's going to be exciting. That'll be fun just because I'm so curious.
Is that the first time you're revealing this?
Yeah. Wow. So that'll be fun. And I'm excited to talk about Perez because he kind of started a lot of this, right? Mm-hmm. The same thing that we're doing. He got into it, got messy with it, came back, tried to clean up his act a little bit, then ended up having kids, and he's in a totally different space, but still doing the same thing. It's just not that same era, if that makes sense. Before it was hot, he was the only one. There weren't YouTubers. There weren't these bloggers. He was gossip. Yeah. There was Us Weekly, there was People Magazine, and then there was Perez. And so I'm excited to talk to him and pick his brain. I have a Housewives of Orange County interview, a Housewives of Beverly Hills interview, and a Housewives of Atlanta interview that I don't want to give the names of because God forbid, this is the thing too. I'm always so hopeful that it goes through, but this as well as I do. If something doesn't happen, I don't want to be the person who's oh, guess who I'm talking to next week? Because if it doesn't happen, I don't want to just be giving you smoke. I want to make sure that I can follow through with it. And that's why normally I don't reveal anything until it actually happens. So I'm excited. We're changing a few things with my channel. That's exciting. Jason also gets annoyed about this, but I'm excited about Jason kind of coming over to the dark side of YouTube and joining us and jumping on with maybe even you and I and a few other of my favorite collaborators and having these same conversations, because whether he likes it or not, he's stuck watching these shows with me. By default, he has to. It's this space is only so big. So if I'm watching housewives and women screaming at each other, unfortunately, he's stuck in that too. So I'm excited to see. We were joking earlier about good cop, bad cop. That was actually yesterday. And Jason is very much so more opinionated, more sassy than I am, which might be hard to believe, but he is. And I'm just a nice guy. And so says you with the tire marks on your face, right?
Right, exactly. Like, really?
But I'm excited
that.
I'm excited to see. There's a lot of fun changes coming, and just like with your channel, you're trying a new platform today, right? Or this new streaming service, and
Yep.
we're always trying to grow our channels and change things, make it current, make it new, and play with things. And it's trial and error, but it's fun, and you learn as you grow. So there's a lot happening for everyone, I guess.
Sometimes fun. Sometimes fun.
Yeah, sometimes fun. I mean, the trial or the error is not as fun as the trial, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Champagne? No.
Tamara, thank you so much for the super chat. Tamara says, love you, Kempire and Adam. Great combo. We appreciate the super chat. Everyone, because we have so many people in the room, just want to remind you that we are doing still until the end of the month our fundraiser here on the channel for Haiti. As you know, they had a 7.2 magnitude earthquake just, I think, almost 2 weeks ago at this point. We are trying to raise funds. They need money now more than ever. Every little bit counts. We've already raised over $2,500. Our goal by the end of the month is $5,000. Also, don't forget to like this video if you haven't liked it already. Also, more information on Up and Adam's channel is available in the description of this video. More collaboration. If you like us together, I was already over there quite a few times this week already, which we always have great conversation. But Adam, before I let you go, Roni, lots of changes. Reunion allegedly was filmed yesterday. What are you thinking of? And we've talked about this, but I want to know what you think they need to do for season 14 to make it better.
So we know that the reunions are so telling, right? And sorry, when I'm looking down to the side, I don't have my monitors in front of me, so I'm trying to read the chats, and I saw where somebody said that Jason was so pressed, and I'm like, oh, what is he pressed about? What's going on in that chat?
Everyone in the chat, calm down.
Calm it down. It's okay.
Not that serious, people.
This is cotton candy content, y'all.
Really, it's not that deep. Calm down.
Yeah, it's not that deep. But, when it comes to the reunion, I think it's very important and very telling. Like the reunion, just like when we talked about 90 Day the other day, the reunion was the most exciting part of that show, and it kind of saved it for us at the end watching that because the season was so lackluster.
Yeah.
For Real Housewives of New York, we know that the episodes were cut short by, correct me if I'm wrong, was it 3 or 5 episodes? Three episodes. So it was cut short by 3 episodes, which I'm sure Ramona didn't like that because I'm guessing that she's getting paid like $30,000 to $50,000 to maybe even $90,000 an episode, right? Something stupid, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
I mean, because based on what we know, they're only paid what they appear on. So
right.
Poor Burshan.
Let's say really quick, she was making $1.2 million.
You got a calculator out?
Yeah, of course I do.
Perfect.
$1.2 million divided by 20, okay? That would be $60,000 an episode. So if there were supposed to be 20 episodes, right? But then there were 17. Is that what was said?
Yep.
So then she would have lost $180,000. So that's still a big chunk of change. And I think that this season was not their best season. I also agree with Kate Casey, who's, we talked about earlier. I was on her podcast. Yeah. She said we have to give them some level of grace because they did film during a pandemic, and damn if they do, damn if they don't. Like, had they not have filmed, everybody would have been upset. Now with them filming, they have to film under certain conditions and requirements because of COVID and precautions. So damned if they do. It kind of was a crappy situation for them to be in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the best season. So for this reunion, they really have to bring it. And I'm hoping the rest of the women know what the reunion means. I hope Ebony can deliver on that too. And I know Bershawn, in whatever capacity that she's brought on to the reunion, I know she'll bring something. I don't know how much, but I'm hopeful. But I also hope that it wasn't, because we know the rumor that it was virtual. I hope it was not actually virtual. That would be so disappointing. For what reason would it be virtual?
Yeah, I hope that is just a rumor. But at the same time, Andy didn't ask for any questions. So what are they going to talk about? I'm a little concerned.
I mean, I feel like we have enough to talk about, though, because they covered some of the hardest topics. Like on the other reunions, we're talking about, did you actually say that her hair was red when it's really brown, or like a auburn yellow, or what? You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid and surface. And this, we were talking about politics. We were talking about the Black Lives Matter movement. Ramona, she was very reluctant to have some of these conversations. You know, we were talking about alcoholism, conversion in religion. We had a few of these tougher conversations, and even though they dragged on a little bit in the season and it lost a lot of interest of the viewers, I'm hoping now that we would be able to like cram this in a 2-part reunion where Andy Cohen would know, as a very, talented host, he knows how to. I think he is. I love Andy Cohen. Okay, so I'm an Andy Cohen stan, but
I'll just clear my throat.
Jason, don't worry. I will never say stan again. He's gonna be like, "Who are you, millennial?" I would hope that he would be able to navigate this conversation and make it juicy, make it suspenseful, and make it exciting, because that is the assignment now for Andy Cohen. You need to figure out how you're going to save this season after you guys and the network permitted only 5 housewives, and this casting choice that was. Let me ask you, if casting would have brought these women to you and said, "This is our lineup," what would you have said?
Leah can go, as Jason just repeated in the chat.
Right, Leah can go.
I've said this before, and I'm a straight shooter when I say this. I like Ebony. However, if I was a part of casting or part of production, she would have not been my pick. Just because I feel like we need to get back to actual housewives. You can't add a single woman on this show.
Well, and it seemed like, the network too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like, especially in the times that they're filming, one, it doesn't make sense that they went 12 seasons before this 13th season and they never had a diverse cast member. When you're talking about New York City, which is like the melting pot for the United States, right? I mean, it's not the only one. We have San Francisco, we have Los Angeles, we have New York City, but you have so many different cultures, religions. It's very diverse. I don't understand why it was a bunch of just like very privileged, white women from the Upper East Side. It just kind of became that thing. That's what it became. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense. I feel like there could have been easily a Hispanic woman or a Black woman or, a Persian woman, or just, different cultures that we could bring in, an Asian woman who would have that husband, have that lavish lifestyle, be very successful, and also have the sass to bring to the table to be like, don't talk to me like that because I'll rip your head off.
Yeah.
That's not what they gave us.
Yeah. I think there's a lot going on, a lot of elements, but I definitely think it's the chemistry amongst these women. We didn't get any sort of chemistry. I do think Ebony was a good choice to kind of blend with the crazy that we got from the ladies to kind of balance everything out. But I don't think I would have went with Ebony if I was going to try and revamp this whole situation. And I would have added.
Would you have went with Bershawn?
Say again?
Would you have went with Bershawn?
Oh, Bershawn. And we interviewed Bershawn together on your channel. If you missed that, go check that one.
Go ahead. Put that foot in your mouth.
No, I'm you know me. I have no problem. Bershaw, who, as I like to call her.
I hate that he does that, by the way, guys. That's like me coming on here and being like, "Hey, Kempy."
People call me that. People call me all kinds of different names.
When I was a kid, people used to call me Dumb. So now I want to stick up for Bershaw. Okay.
She likes it though. I got the approval. And
I think she
does. Dumb is really derogatory and mean. Bershaw is just clever.
To who?
It's a play off both her names. Bershaw.
She did approve it. She approved it. I'll leave it be. You're right. She did say, "I'm okay with that." So, okay. You're okay with that.
The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is coming back. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, oh, it's going to be intense. There's a lot of drama. There's a whole another scandal that we have to cover. Um, I think the ratings are going to be very good. I just am almost kind of sitting there like this is me watching Salt Lake City. Like I feel like I'm sitting there and I'm like, please, Jen Shaw, do not put your. Oh, she just put her foot in her mouth. Oh, please don't say something that's going to incriminate. Oh, she just did that. Like, I feel like that's what we're going to get from Jen Shaw, unfortunately, because one, it was suggested to her, do not go on and film, okay? Because you are being indicted by the Southern District of New York, who has like a 99% prosecution rate. So maybe don't film and incriminate yourself by saying something stupid.
Yeah.
She said, no, I'm going to film. This is my main source of income. Okay. And then to stay off social media. Did she? No.
Nope.
Then she's reposting hashtag free Jen Shaw. My only thing here is like at the end of the trailer, we see when the US, her lawyer is telling her the US attorney's office is no joke. She's like, can somebody call Kim Kardashian and see if we can get her on our defense team?
I mean, it's going to be great.
You're mocking it.
It's going to be great for us.
It's going to be great for us to cover. Yeah, it's great content, but I'm watching her like cringing like, you are not doing yourself a favor. It makes you just like, it's just, yeah, it's going to be great TV, but it's almost like I don't have words. I don't have words.
And I think it might be a good season because Bravo's putting it on the same night as Potomac. That just gonna give me a hint that it's a good season that they believe they have.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, it's definitely obviously it's going to be a good season. What I'm hopeful that Bravo does is Bravo gave us the Beverly Hills drama with Erika 3-4 episodes in, which was great. And we needed that. It wasn't something that we were left with until the end of the season. I hope the Jen Shaw drama comes very early. Like I hope, give us 2 seasons to get in. Let's meet the new girl. Let's see what's going on. Then, or not 2 seasons, but 2 episodes. And then give us the 3rd episode and bam! Federal indictment says Jen Shaw right now is being prosecuted of this, and this. And like, just give us the headlines, give us that little computer voice from NBC, Fox, CNN, something like that. And let us have the drama and let it unfold and see how the women are reacting. That is how we will have a killer season. And again, with Roni, OC, Orange County, Dallas, Atlanta giving us these bad lackluster ratings, which Potomac has just had the highest ratings ever for them.
Yeah.
So congratulations to them. But with these other franchises kind of falling short, Salt Lake City, just like Beverly Hills, they have a job to do. They need to bring it. So I'm hoping they do that.
You notice with Bravo, it seems as if, we've heard rumors that the Real Housewives of Atlanta probably will not start filming until next year. So that means we're not getting any Atlanta in 2021. And it seems like there's cast issues in New York. They canceled, or no, okay, we won't say cancel. They put on hold the Real Housewives of Dallas. What do you think is going on at Bravo? It seems very shaky right now.
I think like Kate Casey said on my interview, I'm looking at my little battery thing and it says like on the last thing, and I don't know if my charger, my little.
I'm not going to keep you much longer.
No. I'm not trying to rush you off either.
Yeah, you're trying to escape.
No. Let me press the thing. Hold on.
Guys, I'm just going to remind you, don't forget to like the video if you haven't liked it already.
I'll tell you when it goes red, and that way at least I give you a heads up. So if it cuts me out, then it's good. But I'll talk until then. I'm totally good. I'm enjoying this. I feel like this is just easy. But I think that, like Kate Casey said, NBC now having this other streaming service, Peacock, they're trying to figure out what goes where, what do we do with certain shows, where are we supposed to put things? And I think that that's an important job to do, and they have to figure out what's going to benefit the new streaming service where people are going to pay for this, and what do we keep on Bravo for everybody to see. So I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't actually know about. And that's why things are being delayed. Oh my God, a bug just landed on my lip, just like Lisa
Okay,
Rinna.
Lisa Rinna.
It really did. Did you see that? Was that
No, I didn't see that.
Oh.
I cringed when that happened for her. I was like, because she has lip gloss on. So
let me bring up my Lisa Rinna lip gloss.
Oh, is that really? I was like, are you supporting that woman?
I mean, I wouldn't not support her, but no, I'm not buying lip
Buy
gloss.
Fenty.
Yeah, come out with like a nice SPF like lotion or like a little eye repair cream or maybe even a bronzer. I'll support you, but I'm not putting
Fenty,
on
I
lip
think
gloss.
Fenty Beauty has all that. Jason would know, right, Jason? Jason's all into that skincare stuff.
Yeah, trust me, it's like annoying. I just mean because he always tells me, he's like, you look tired today. Did you put on eye repair cream? And I'm like, no, I just walked the dogs. He's like, no, I can tell you didn't. I can tell. And I'm like, did you put on eye repair cream? Like when you just wake up? He's like, yeah, I did. I put on eye repair cream. I have on my SPF. I moisturized. Do you see my skin? It looks so good. I'm 10 years older than you, and I look like everyone thinks that we're twins. Does that not? Do you get the hint? And I'm like,
Jason
damn it,
does take
right.
care of his skin. Jason's gonna look amazing when he's
He does.
60 years old.
He's a pro. Yes. He's a pro.
Not if he's gonna be doing this YouTube stuff with all this lighting. He's got to put extra SPF on.
Yeah, good luck, Jason. Welcome to my world.
Oh Lord. Okay, because we were talking about, and I'm gonna let you go in just a second. Because we were talking about NBC's Peacock streaming app. The rumors about the Real Housewives Vacation Series Season 1, we hear are possibly coming in November. And now we're hearing about Season 2 already. And Dorinda might be hosting at the Berkshires. What are you feeling about, first of all, Season 1, and now these rumors about Season 2?
I'm excited so this is all speculation because we haven't seen anything. I don't know how much drama you can get out of a week of sticking a bunch of women together. But then I think about that, and like my family and I, there was 23 of us. We all went on a cruise. My stepmom dragged my stepsister down the hall. She slapped me in the face. Like she like decked my stepdad in the face. You know, like we had so many fights going on the boat. My brother almost got put like down where they like make people wait until the end of the cruise. We were all getting in this like big uproar because it's family and we only see each other like once or twice a year. And it was an absolute shit show. It was a circus. So when I think
that,
yeah, right. How much could go wrong in a week? And then I think about that. I'm like, oh, Adam, shut up, because a lot can happen in a week. So I'm excited to see. These are very strong, independent women who have big personalities, big egos sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them do. And half the time, none of them take crap from anyone. So I think that there's going to be a lot of opinionated women under one roof. I mean, Ramona Singer coming in and like, look at this. There's so many servants in here to take my bags and do this, this, and this, and this. And I want this room. Can you imagine how annoying that would be? And especially she's not even on your franchise, but now you're coming in. You thought she was annoying for the last few years and you get to call her out on it. I wish they would have put Dolores Catania in there because Dolores hates Ramona.
Yeah.
And she would have just been like a monster. I don't know why they put Melissa Gorga, even though I love Melissa Gorga. I think they should have put Teresa and Dolores.
And they're really, really good friends. I'm actually surprised that they did that, but who knows? You know, the producers have favorites and things like that.
Yeah. And some women are easier to film with, and that I'm sure helps. Like it's kind of like if you're better at your job and you give the producers what they want, you're easy to film with, you show up on time, you're not a diva. I'm sure you might get different opportunities than the person who is, you know?
Are you trying to say Black Dolores is a diva?
No. I haven't ever heard anything about Dolores. Like, you know, we hear Robin is so late and always showing up, you know, not on time for filming. And we hear things about her. We know that Denise Richards had a bad problem of breaking the fourth wall. We hear about some people, but I haven't heard anything about Dolores. I've only heard that she's been great. And I have a friend who I did his podcast. Dolores used to come into Pump all the time, especially when I was in and out, like working in that world. And we met her and she was very sweet. And my friend, she went to his wedding. He just went to her house in Jersey and filmed a scene with her where they did the big softball tournament thing. And he was at that, filming for that. So, you know, he's only said good things and he's very cutthroat. Like he tells you if he thinks somebody's a jerk or if they're not. I believe him. That's where I'm going to leave that.
And I think you mean straightforward, not cutthroat.
Oh, no. I mean straightforward, but if you knew him, he's
cutthroat. Oh, he's cutthroat.
Yeah, he's very cutthroat. Trust me, Jason knows. His best friend is Janice Dickinson. So if that tells you anything, that is his best friend.
Where's she been?
I don't know. I don't even want to say anything.
Because we were talking about Jersey, and this is going to be the last because we're talking about Jersey. We're getting a lot of information about Jersey before the season even airs. They're filming right now. They're on their cast trip. What are you feeling about, based on the rumors that we've heard about Jersey? Like, what's standing out to you? Are you excited about their new season?
I think it's going to be good. I think that this Margaret Joseph's bringing up the rumor about Jennifer Aiden and her husband Bill, the cheating rumor. I think that's obviously going to play a big part in this. But also, Teresa Giudice is like the MVP of Jersey, whether anyone likes it or not. And we're going to get to see more of her and her boyfriend, Louis Ruelas. They bought their new house. That's going to be a whole storyline in itself. Melissa Gorga and Joe Gorga, they sold their house and they bought a much smaller, more modest house that they're going to, I guess, revamp or whatever you call it. They're doing that. So that's going to be a storyline in itself. Jackie Goldschneider, I have no clue what her storyline is going to be, but I know she's going on double dates with Teresa and Louis. I think that there's a lot of various like multiple dynamics here as opposed to one major central storyline. I'm excited. And Jersey is one of the only franchises, actually it's the only franchise that everyone's so excited about the husbands, and that the husbands actually get paid. They're their own little staple when it comes to the franchise. So I'm here for Jersey. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. And I got a FaceTime call from a friend that was backstage at that baseball game, and I got to speak to Black Dolores. Amber Shaw was there too.
Why do you call her Black Dolores?
That's for another time.
Oh, okay.
That's for another time. Adam,
Okay.
always fun having conversation with you. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Up and Adam here on YouTube. Adam was such a huge part of celebrating me, supporting me, always having my back. So I will always have his back. Adam, look, the only reason why we didn't have you on the channel is because we were trying to build before, we didn't want to come here and have like two people in the chat. So we had to make sure we had a decent crowd.
I would have come on then too. But are you about to cut me off?
Yeah.
Where do I pick up my paycheck?
Oh damn!
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
that
kidding.
was such a straight face. Too.
No, I'm kidding. No, thank you for having me. Seriously, I appreciate you. I support you. This was fun, even though we went 2 hours. Like it honestly doesn't bother me. It would have been different for me as a host, but I'm not hosting it, so it was organic. I could talk all day, and now Jason doesn't have to be bothered because I'm not talking to anybody after this. I've got it out of my system. So good.
Adam, Thank you so much. Guys, again, more information on Adam's channel and his social media. It's important to follow him all of those different platforms, just because, these YouTube streets, sometimes you never know. You might wake up and not have a channel anymore. God forbid. It's happened. It's happened. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. It's going to be all right. Adam, looking forward to all the exciting things that are coming up for you. Thank you so much for being here on the channel as always, and thank you for supporting. And let's not forget, guys, if you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You're getting daily and consistent hot topics in a variety of different areas. And don't forget, if you can, please donate to the Hope for Haiti charity that we have connected to this video and to the channel. We are trying to raise over $5,000 for Haiti. Thank you, guys. Thank you to my mods. Thank you to everyone that sent in the super chat. Thank you to everyone that was just a part of the conversation. And, of course, thank you to Adam. Thank you, Adam.
Hey, thank you guys. And I see the red, so I'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye, Kempire.